Hey everyone, it's Justine, and today I'm participating in the Sending Sunshine Kit video hop from Create a Smile Stamps. It comes with all the things you see in this photo. I made this card featuring supplies from this kit, and I'm participating in a blog hop, or a video hop today as it's called, which means at the end of the video I'll link to the next person who created a card featuring this kit, and you can see all the different things that are possible to make with this kit and give you many ideas and inspiration. So hop along and have some fun. Let's get started by creating the card base. I cut this at 11 by 4¼ inches and then folded it at 5½ inches to create a top folding card. Next up, I'm going to be doing some die cutting. And I'm going to set this off to the side, and then I'm going to die cut a couple of the pattern papers that come in this kit. I'm going to be using My Favorite Things tag die here, and it's a stitch tag die. I'm die cutting this die using my Cut-A-Block machine, and I just sent it through the machine once and it cut right through. Next up, I'm going to be cutting this piece of paper here from the pattern paper, and then I'm going to be cutting also this piece of paper using a smaller rectangle. These are the stitched rectangle dies from Simon Says Stamp. So I'm going to layer them as I just shown there. And I'm going to use my Tombow Mono glue, and I'm going to glue all of these papers down onto my card base. I started off with the largest piece, and I made sure that there was a nice even border around the card base. So you still get that really nice white, bright look coming from behind the card. Next up, I created the smaller piece, and this is the pink cardstock, and I put that on a slight angle. And then lastly, the tag goes in the middle, and I tried to put this as straight as possible. Next up, I grabbed a scrap piece of paper of 80-pound Nina White Solar White cardstock, and I'm going to be stamping one of the images from this stamp set onto the cardstock, and I'm going to be using Memento ink because I'm going to be using Copic markers, and Copic markers work well with the Memento ink so it doesn't smudge. Using my Fisker stamp press, I inked that up using the Memento ink, and then I stamped down. Because it's the first time using this stamp, I made sure to really make sure I had even ink coverage before stamping. I pushed down firmly on the stamp to give and applied even pressure, and then it stamped just perfectly. I started by coloring using R20, and I colored the entire image to saturate the paper. I don't care about going outside the lines because I'm going to end up cutting it out anyway. Using R22, I went all along those dotted lines and anywhere where I thought there would be a shadow. After I finished that, I went in with R35, which is the coral, and it gives the overall dark tone to this card. So I'm going along all those shadowed areas again, and then going back in with the R22 color and then spreading out that dark color that I just put down and blending all of that in, and then I lastly went over with the R20 marker once again, and then I saturated the paper again and colored over the whole image to blend it all together. I finished fussy cutting this little guy out, and then I took my 100 black Copic marker and went along the sides to give it a defined edge. You can see what a big difference it makes, and it cuts all of that white out of there. It looks like a true die cut. At this point, I needed a sentiment, and I wasn't finished die cutting just yet. Using My Favorite Things Making Waves die cut, I had cut apart 2 of these waves to create the area where I would stamp my sentiment into. I took a piece of Nina Solar White cardstock, 80-pound, and I put the waves, I picked 2 waves from the die set, and I put one upside down and one right side up, if that makes sense. I had to make sure that I had enough room to stamp the sentiment in, so I grabbed the sentiment from my kit and I made sure that I adjusted it so that it would fit the actual sentiment. I realized it wasn't quite big enough, so I adjusted it accordingly and then attached it with some washi tape before sending it through my die cutting machine. After I sent this through my die cutting machine, I cut it to 2½ inches so that it would fit the length of the tag that we already glued onto the card. So that's what it looks like, and I wasn't 100% sure if I wanted to attach it into the middle or towards the bottom of the tag, but I decided I would stamp the sentiment and then try it out. So I took the Pinch Me stamp, and I inked it up using Sorbet ink from Close to My Heart. This was the closest color I had to matching the little animals, so I made sure that I found an ink that was pretty close, and then also that would contrast that coral paper in the background. And I attached it using some Tombow Mono glue. My glue was kind of dried up there, and then it finally started working, and I put that towards the bottom, and I adjusted it a couple of times before deciding on the proper placement. Next up, I had to attach this little critter, and I put some 3D foam tape onto the back and then just removed the back of that adhesive part there to expose the adhesive and attached it to the card so that he was kind of putting the pinch me right beside him. And I thought that looked really cool. Also in this kit, I used one of the wooden embellishments, and I put a dab of glue in the bottom there, and I stuck it into the bottom right-hand corner. Again, I adjusted it a little bit before deciding on the proper placement, and I pushed down really hard in order to fix that. Next, I thought the tag needed a little something, because usually the tag has a hole in the top, but this die doesn't have that. So I added one of the enamel shapes from the kit to make it look like that was the hole of the tag, and I really like the way that that turned out as well. So that's the end of my card tutorial today. I hope you enjoyed this video. Be sure to go to Create a Smile's website. I have it in the description below because you can have a chance to win this kit by going to her website and signing up for the giveaway. And next up, you're going to Nicole's blog, and she's going to show you a really cool creation that she made. So I hope you enjoyed the blog hop. Please leave a comment, thumbs up, and subscribe before leaving. Thanks so much for watching.